How you guys doing again? Just gonna go ahead and carry on from where I left off yesterday. Um, Yesterday I was talking about what happened to me when I was in New York City. And then how that came to an end and that whole situation. After that, it things kind of died down. Like things were a lot more peaceful in my life. For a little bit, things were more peaceful. And during, I would say like the next year, uh, about maybe the next year, so yeah, a year and a half, I actually for some reason I just decided that I was going to go ahead and pray to God that my mom and dad would get back together. Now at the time that didn't seem like that was even a possibility. So, but I did start kind of believing in the power of prayer at that point. I believe that, after seeing what happened to me in New York, after I prayed to be, taken out of that situation, I started believing in the power of prayer. So it didn't take long after I said my prayer to God, um, that my parents would get back together, that it actually happened. So this is the point I'm trying to make here is the power of prayer is a very serious thing. I mean, I pray every day now after I've been saved, but you know, before then I didn't pray all that much, but I could say that almost every time I did pray to God, and I only did it, here and there. I mean, I saw miracles take place, and this was one of them. So then what happened then after I said the prayer was we ended up moving to Schaumburg, Illinois, because my dad worked out there, and my obviously they talked or whatever. I mean, it was literally like a miracle because like I never thought that would happen. And then so we ended up moving out there. I had to say goodbye to my friends. At the time, we were living in Escanaba, Michigan, which was a very small town, but a very peaceful town where there wasn't much violence and stuff like that. So I had up to that point, I mean, other than what happened to me in New York, I had a pretty good upbringing for a kid, like playing outside, building snow forts, playing with my friends, running around all day with animals and stuff like that. Just, small town kind of life. So, but then when we moved to Schaumburg, things were more city like, more, so that was a bit of a change, a bit of an adjustment for me. I still had, like I said before, some emotional issues related to what happened to me in New York. I had some behavioral problems, like at school and whatnot, and so I had to, my mom had to put me on medicine like Ritalin and whatnot for trying to keep me calm. And my, because I at school I kind of turned into like a class clown, and I started rebelling against the teacher and not listening to what they had to say and stuff like that because it just, after what happened in New York, it's just, my, I just wanted to rebel. I just wanted to rebel against every authority figure, that I could. So basically, that's what happened there. But I do remember having to see a doctor and do all that and get on medicine and whatnot. And then, so that, that wasn't actually good though because the medicine had side effects and whatnot. So, I would do strange things. I remember, like just like clicking my eyes and stuff like that and doing strange things. So, medicine like that is like a real serious thing. So, it's a good thing that I didn't stay on it for too long. I actually stopped taking it, but I wouldn't recommend that for most children unless they absolutely need it. Like and in my case, I guess I did at the time. So anyway, after that, we moved to Schaumburg after the prayer, after the miracle took place that I actually witnessed with my own eyes, and I don't even think my parents knew that I had prayed for that. But either way, it ended up happening. So we moved to Schaumburg soon after that, and what I came to learn as a child at that point, like I said, I was about 9 years old, is that even though you pray for something to happen, you may not get the situation that you expected to get. So what ended up happening is, even though my parents were together, and in the first few months or so, I would say things were a lot better with them between each other, and they were divorced by that point, so they weren't married. And I know the Bible has scriptures about that, like once you divorce somebody, things change, the laws of God change, so but either way, God did answer my prayer, and my parents did get back together. And my dad, he did not stop drinking, he did not stop cheating, on my mom. You know, there was things that he already had in his past that he was still continuing to do, and it caused a lot of problems in the house. You know, so my mom and my dad, they would always argue. You know, just like they did before. But you know, I deep down inside, I was just happy that God answered my prayer and I got to actually see them get back together. But I also started to kind of regret the fact that, like, you know, I had to leave Escanaba and all that, and then I had to come to Schaumburg, and I had to change my life, had to be changed and all that. So I, you know, in a way, it's kind of like, you know, I learned a lesson about prayer at that point. Like, you know, be careful what you ask for. You know, in other words, but. So it was just a downhill spiral. You know, my parents didn't last that long together. I'd say about a year is all they made it. But the last like 4 months, they were just like constantly at each other's throats. You know, in other words, they just like I remember one time they got into such a bad argument. My mom picked up a keyboard and my dad picked up the vacuum cleaner, and they were literally like just like about ready to use it, but thank God, you know, they didn't, and you know, they calmed down, and but that's pretty much when they realized that, you know, it was time to separate from each other again. So, oh man, what a year that was, though. Just having to deal with that, my dad coming home drunk from work, my yelling at my mom yelling at him, and just whatnot. It was just another crazy point in my life. So, after my dad left, my mom wasn't able to really pay for the duplex apartment that we lived in because it was just too much money. So she had to go ahead and we had to move to North Carolina right after that. So after third grade, I went straight to North Carolina for fourth grade, Carolina Beach, which was kind of cool, living on the beach. But we'll get into that in the next video here.